We are definitely tapping trees today. I am so excited. We've been on vacation for 2 weeks and all I've been thinking about is hoping that we did not miss maple season. So it is 13 degrees Celsius outside right now and the sun is super shining and the snow is still really hard. So hopefully we haven't missed out. But Zach is doing an oil change and battery maintenance. He's doing an oil change on the generator and battery maintenance on our batteries. And I'm gonna go outside right now and get all of our sap buckets, get them washed out, and then we can go ahead and get started and we'll bring you along. Okay, so it is super important to clean your spiles, and that is because if you look in here, there is no light because the end here is plugged. So I have everything in water here, so I'm going to, I have just a little straw scrubby, scrub it out inside, try and unplug the hole here. And then, now, when you look in, you can see the light and you can see how the inside of the spile is nice and smooth. If we didn't check these and we just went ahead and put them into the tree, we wouldn't get any sap out of this. So it's really important to check your equipment and make sure that everything is running good.
Guys, it's Mark. We're out tapping trees. The weather's just turned. It's fairly nice outside. We're trying to get as many spiles in. I think there's 60 or so. Sarah's with me doing the videoing. If you find a good maple tree, this is fairly nice. Try and stay away from where it's scarred. Got some scarring here from previous years, so we're going to try and stay away from that. You want your spile facing as much south as you can get. We're a little bit pointed further west, but it should still run. Got a 1/2-inch drill bit. Using an aluminum spile. Had to wash them up pretty good from last year. Yeah, these bits are easy because that's usually about how far I go. Leaves a little extra room so you don't bottom out the spile. I think it's a Bosch bit. Works pretty good. I'm going to drive the spile in fairly tight so it seals up the hole. You can see it's running out of there already. Drive it in fairly tight. Beautiful. We're going to have some pretty good weather, I think, for it. It's 13 degrees today. It goes down to about 0 at night, which is just about perfect. And that way we can store the sap outside without it going bad. Yeah, off to the next one. Same thing, try and get facing south. Try and stay away from some of the old scars. Also try and make sure you can get as much wood chips out of there as you can, because sometimes they end up plugging up the end of the spile.
This year we made our own lids for our sap buckets. We had this roll of tin in the barn and it was going to make us some lids at virtually no cost. So here to buy a lid for your sap buckets runs close to between $5 and $6 a lid. And we were putting out close to 65 buckets this year. So that was gonna add up quite quickly and we just didn't have it in the budget. So all we needed was this roll of tin and a straight line. We used a level, some snips and a tape measure. So what we did is we just grabbed this bucket. Zach puts it down on the tin here and kind of marks out where it's gonna go. Gives it a little bit of extra space so that water can go around the lid instead of into the bucket. And we go from there. It was such a simple idea and I wish in hindsight that we had tried it the year before, but we didn't. And this year it was just phenomenal. It wasn't hard at all to take the lids on and off. And even with it being aluminum, it didn't bend or snap. So they all held up and they will get us through a few more seasons. So hopefully this helps. So we realized we had a design flaw in our lids. There's Zach. And when we took our lids out to the sap buckets, they were just a little bit too narrow at the opening. So if the bucket tilted side to side, the sap would drip on the lid instead of in the bucket. So right now we are going through and it's hard to see, but we are taking, yeah, it's really hard to see. Maybe, there we go. Okay, so you can see the little teardrop shape, and then there's that little shape over it. We have to cut the second shape. So the teardrop did not work. Looks like a balloon, I guess. I don't know. So now we are cutting these out, and they are gonna work better, hopefully. What do you think, Zach? Yeah. It's gonna work?
Yep.
Are you ever afraid you're gonna cut your hand? No. No? Never?
No. Huh. Happens whether I fear it or not.
Yeah. Probably. What's your favorite part about sap season, Zach?
Not collecting.
Not collecting. Your lids are pretty genius. So here we are in the sugar shack doing our first boil. The sugar shack is half built because we usually build it while we're sitting here bored boiling. So this is where we left off last year. So this is just an old oil drum cut in half. And Zach's welded reinforcements and supports and all kinds of other fun stuff. And we just made a little hinge point for the door there. This sap pan we bought as a kit. Well, Zach's family bought as a kit years ago. So, I mean, it kind of fits on there. It just overhangs a little bit at the front, and it's great. So we've got a nice boil going. Sarah is doing a great job at maintaining everything. Smells like spring. Okay, so it's morning day 2 of our second boil. And we just got the fire going back up again, and we're gonna get the boil started. Some people say that once it's boiled, you can't stop it until it's finished. That's not true. So, anyways, here we go. Day 2, boil 2. Hopefully we can get another 15-20 jars. What do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah, so about 20 jars. That'd be nice, because then we would have 40 jars for the season. For the whole year. We give a lot of it away. Last year we ended up with 50 some jars. We didn't sell a single jar. We have 2 left and we only had about 5 to ourselves, but we like to share. So Zach, can you explain this operation you got going on here?
Put the cold sap on the top, through the strainer, take any bugs or anything out of it. It's actually your honey strainer. Just a regular sifter. Takes all the dirt and the bugs out of it. And it trickles down in. The idea of letting it trickle is so you don't lose your boil, doesn't cool the pan down. Just add it in slowly. You can adjust how fast it adds in depending on how hard the boil is going. It's cold right now, but the pan was low, so trying to get the pan back up to where I like it.
Yeah, it's starting to steam right now.
Yeah.
So when it's ready, what do you do?
And once it hits the right temperature, we just grab hold of the pan.
With gloves?
You stick gloves on, slide it over onto the tray, throw a sheet of steel over the stove so your eyeballs don't dry out. And tip one end up and scoop it out.
Nice. So how many gallons do you think we boiled?
Of sap?
Yeah.
150.
150 gallons? That's not too bad. And now we're filtering the first one.
16 gallons.
Oh, okay. Nice. So you just keep adding to it. You keep the boil going the whole time. And when your sap reaches 122 degrees, sorry, 222 degrees. 220 exactly? Perfect. So when your sap reaches 220 degrees, then you take it off. It smells so good in here.
Makes you think of pancakes and sausages and bacon.
By this time in the process, we are absolutely exhausted. We have been going for a couple of weeks and this is the final stretch. So it's really exciting and it's really rewarding to sit back and look at all of the jars on your counter. To prep for canning, all we do is get as many jars as we think we need and then 5 more because it just always works out that way. We have a Bernardin canning kit and it just has the funnel, the little magnet to pick up the lids. It has a couple of other components to it as well. If you don't have anything for canning, I highly suggest getting this kit or another kit like it. It really is amazing and really, really cost effective. So anyways, we have clean jars. Some people boil their jars to sanitize them. We wash them, we put them into the oven at about 170 degrees. It's still pretty warm, but it's a temperature that's safe for cooking. So once you put the syrup in the jar, I just have a wet cloth on hand, and you are always gonna want a wet cloth on hand because this is a very sticky process. So once you put the syrup in, you take the wet cloth, just give the rim a really quick wipe to make sure it seals up properly. Put the lid on, put the ring on. You don't want to put the ring on too tight so that it can still seal. Once the seal pops, you can go ahead and twist your rings on tight, and you go from there.